150 billion euros. That's how much in market value some of Europe's oldest industrial companies have gained on the back of booming demand for AI data centers and AI infrastructure. That's according to data collected by the Financial Times. So the FT outlining how four of the bloc's legacy industrial groups, Siemens, Legrande, Schneider Electric and ABB, have pivoted and adapted to make themselves key suppliers in the global AI race. To me, this is fascinating because we've been talking a lot about the picks and shovels. These are the nuts and bolts companies. So the picks and shovels are very interesting because of the level of innovation. You think about the GPUs, for instance, that NVIDIA has come up with, and that will be showcased again today. These are more nuts and bolts, and no one thinks nuts and bolts are sexy, but the reality is nuts and bolts can make a lot of money, and they are required when you're constructing something. And we are talking about one of the greatest architecture builds out here, the greatest AI infrastructure build out that the world has ever seen. So nuts and bolts are required. And if you look at a couple of these names, you've seen some of them up double digits so far year to date, which is no mean feat given the market volatility we've seen so far this year.
I think for European investors as well, this provides, these four companies that you just highlighted provide a way for European investors to access the AI theme in Europe, because none of the, let's face it, none of the pioneers are actually in Europe. So you've got to look to the picks and shovels or the nuts and bolts, as you say. And it's also when you look at the market cap progression, the valuation of these companies, and I think it's quite emblematic of the shift we're seeing. Schneider Electric now valued at over 120 billion euros, overtaking Total Energies last year in terms of market cap, just showcasing the transition that we've seen from fossil fuels to now electricity. And a lot of these companies were counted out. They were seen as companies of the past, and this, the whole AI boom has breathed new life into some of these European industrial giants.
Which in some ways you saw in the US market as well. Those big oil companies surpassed by technology in terms of market cap in recent years. To me, we've known about the Schneider story. A lot of investors have been closely seeing that as the one big AI name in Europe. The other three are fascinating. The Siemens story, the fact that it's remade the business. It's pivoted away from the very big industrial conglomerate that it was for many, many years, trying to really hone focus in the AI space. So that is fascinating. I mean, ABB, for me, the robotics story is so underappreciated for so long. We had really not all of the technology to fire up robotics. But if you talk to some of the VC firms now, and we've had a lot of those conversations recently, they all think robotics is really the next frontier. And this is the whole physical AI part, the physical AI trend that Jensen Huang is talking about. The fact that you get the AI into some of the devices, whether it's self-driving or whether it's robotics in factories, robotics for the home down the track, that is the physical AI component. And ABB has been right at the forefront of that for many, many years.
And again, when you think about investment opportunity with European stocks trading at a discount, if you want to access, such a key theme, robotics, what better way than to play it through a European company?